Hey everyone, Eric on Paper here, and the biggest shocker of all, I am Eric. So, we're going to be doing a review of these Kuratake pens, and I really love these things. I previously just used the brush pen on another piece, but when I found a whole set of these, I had to break them in, and I did it on this piece of the character Avengelyne, co-created by Rob Liefeld, and I unironically love this character. I think she's great. I think the design's pretty cool. I like the story. And I even got to meet Liefeld and get him to sign a copy of the first issue. So let's get started. So I filmed the penciling portion too, but if you've been watching my channel, I don't do anything too unusual with this. Just remember to draw lightly and keep in mind when you're drawing a female character to keep your rendering to a minimum on the on skin or flesh or anything like that, mainly because lines age people. And if you want this character to have formerly been an angel, she's going to need to look smooth and young and, well, angelic, duh. So as I'm working through this piece, another thing too is that I notice a lot of characters' musculature seems to fluctuate depending from artist to artist, and I'm thinking that if this character is fighting demons regularly, she's going to have to look pretty strong and pretty intense. So to that end, just do your research on martial artists and things like that. People who aren't necessarily gym rats, because you're going to want functional muscles, not just show muscles on your characters. And gymnasts too, and aerial artists, they're another great source to look at. But now we're going to talk about the Kuratake pens a little bit ahead of time. Now the pens are packaged in order of thickness, thin to thin to that final brush pen that, if you have enough control, can give you the thinnest line ever or one of the thickest lines that I've ever worked with, and I decided to use them all. I chose just to start off with an even one to get comfortable. Then I used the thinnest one for facial details, and again, that works great. I found that if you press an angle, you can go from a nice thick to thin line really well. Here I used one of the medium tips for her hair. Actually, no, I think I was starting to use a brush tip too for her hair. I found anything that was flowing and natural, like hair, or later on if you want to do capes or things like that, simply worked better with a flowing brush pen. Weird how that worked out. And when you're inking a character like this, or most characters that are designed to be attractive, you're going to want long flowing lines, and the Kuratake set is perfect for that. You can get a nice thick to thin line with very minimal pressure. That's the one thing I'm going to have to say about these. You have to have a very delicate hand to get the result that you want. But still, when you do get that result, it is very satisfying. Now, another thing too, when working with this, is that you need to be able to, I wouldn't recommend just jumping in right away. You're going to need to be able to work on areas that are more forgiving, and I would suggest practicing on another piece of paper until you feel comfortable with these tools. Her boots and leg wear here, the reason I didn't go with a more flowing brush for the straps is that in the comic depiction they were very stylized, very 90s, and I wanted to go with that look as well. So here I just filled in the more leather aspects of her costume. I think in the actual photographed model they're more of a cloth type material, but I make things look leather because that is way cooler, and I'm not here to shame anybody for their preferences, but just giving enough highlights and details to give it that form and weight. And now here's a completed inked piece of Avengelyne, and I went in with colors and That would be a whole other video. I'm more interested in talking about how great the Kuratake pens are. Get them, even with just one, you can get a whole great variety and range of lines. So check them out. So I hope I've persuaded you to try out the Kuratake pens. They work great. And if Mr. Liefeld is watching, I will work for free on a reboot of the book, or whatever, because this is a great character and I had a lot of fun drawing her. In the meantime, keep telling your stories. Hire me, Rob.